Hello, people. It is your boy Damien. It's been a little bit. I am here to make a new video. I don't know what that pause is for. Just trying to think about my thoughts. Just trying to see how I want to do this, but oh well. So, this video will be entailing where to find and how to get melee weapons. This will include the unobtainable melee weapons, the event melee weapons, and then the base melee weapons. And so on and so forth, and in between. This will also show where to get the damage mods for each, and also where you can find um, them, the mods, of course, and which one would, at least in my few years of gaming experience for Rise of the Dead, which one is the best out of all of them, and what I would suggest to you. This will also entail the damage, and it'll also entail the skill tree as well. But with that out of the way, allow me to begin by pointing out where you can find the mods for each melee weapon type. The first melee mod that you can find relatively early on is the edge melee damage mods. To find it, you would have to have progressed through the game a little bit and obtaining access to the mall. You can get here through the main story, so I don't need to fully explain how to get here. But or at the clinic, at the very back down here, the first or the boss here, Hector Shot, drops it at a 27.28 drop rate. You need $15,000 and then, of course, 35 metal scraps to craft. The max mod damage that this does is 500%. The second mod blueprint that you can find is the blunt melee damage mod. To find it, you need to have, of course, found your way to residentials. Again, you can get here through the main quest. You can also, if I recall correctly, you can get to this quest through end of the line, or you can come here during that time to do Genesis and find the blunt melee damage mod and the knockback mod. You have to defeat the bandit helicopter, which I forgot to mention earlier. But for Hector Shot, you can see the mastery level right there, and, and yeah, on to the final and last damage mod. There are two ways to get to this location. The first is by the map. You can find the pointed melee damage mod by completing the bandit outpost, which, if you talk with Patrick um, before he joins you for, well, I won't spoil it for those who are newer, but going through the main storyline, you'll be able to get Patrick, and he'll give you this map to locate the mod. Going back into this, it is kind of hard to see, but with the normal bandit outpost crate, you need a 33.34% chance to get it. Not too bad in terms of odds, but of course it's actually the highest, higher than Hector Shot, so it's pretty good to get. Now, with that out of the way, on to the next thing. In regard to overall damage that you can deal, you have the base amount of damage, which, as you can see right here, the survival knife, which will also be the first melee weapon I will go ahead and show you how to find, has a base multiplier of 100 damage. If you press, or if you look at masteries, or if you press L, or if you're on mobile, if you tap it and you scroll down to authority or drag down, whatever, right below agile recovery, and then to the left of trained arms and overheal, and then above machine aim stabilizer, you will find the swordsman, which grants melee weapons a 35% damage increase to the overall damage a melee weapon does, rather than the base 100 that this knife does. And this goes with any weapon. This does 135 damage rather than the base 100, which would have been the case should I have left the, or if I should I have changed the multiplier for the mastery. Now, on to where to find the melee weapons. Starting off with yours truly, the survival knife. I was about to say hunting knife. The first melee weapon that you can get your hands on, of course, as I stated, is the survival knife. By going through the main storyline and completing everything, once you head over to Blocksmart, sorry about that, let me mute that so that doesn't happen again. A whole horde of zombies. Just the first boss that you'll fight is the prisoner. Prisoner drops the survival knife at a 23.08 drop rate. Um, the knife at full does 2,600. However, with the swordsman, 2,600 does 3,510. Sorry if that last one seemed a little rushed. The next melee weapon that you can get your hands on is the machete from Zerkura at level 50. Funny fact, this used to be level 40 before it jumped up to 80 to obtain the rewards, and then now it's 50. You used to be able to obtain it on the weekends, but now you can only obtain it on Tuesday. The machete does 324 with the swordsman, but it does 240 base. By removing damage mods and putting it into this, actually, wait, there's something important that I forgot to mention. The machete has a charge feature, which if you do the charge swing, it does 567. Uh, it takes 13 stamina and then 26 for the charge swing. For the damage output of the machete at max, it does base 6,240, with the swordsman giving it an 18.4k increase. The charge swing does 14.7k, and then of course you can obtain this from the park at level 50. The third melee weapon that you are able to obtain is the chainsaw. The chainsaw can be found uh, in Genesis, which you can get through by completing the main storyline. The chainsaw is a 50% drop rate from the normal Genesis rate. The chainsaw at base does 450 per 6 stamina swing, which used to be 3, but it was changed a little bit, which is fine. With the swordsman granting it a 35% increase to 608. The full damage output of the chainsaw does 11.7, with swordsman granting it a 15.7 increase. Let me redo that. 15.7 for 6 stamina swing. A little bit of a bias note. I personally suggest a chainsaw over every other thing or every other melee weapon in the game, purely because of how good it is. You are also able to kill Vein of Necron with it, and it is the only weapon that you can actually do it with, or killing it quickly. In my Boss Slayer video, I used the chainsaw to kind of demonstrate that you can murk it pretty fast. With that out of the way, we are on to the next one, the Fire Axe. To find the Fire Axe, you first need to complete Michael's Lucky Coin side quest, and he'll be able to take you to the prison. The axe drops from, or correction, it used to drop here. One moment. I apologize, I'm going off of old memory here. Uh, you can actually find the Fire Axe in the hard mode bandit crate. I think I saw it before, but I completely spaced it at a 33.01% chance. The Fire Axe at base does 460. However, it has a bunch of other buffs as well, which make it pretty interesting, including a 250% heavy attack multiplier, which is actually stronger than the Inquisitor's Blade, which is something I will explain later on. Fire Axe also has an ignition chance of 66%. At base, it does 621, with the charge swing reaching 1.5 thousand. With 5 damage mods, which I'll put on right now. Let me get that back. Loader. The normal swing of the Fire Axe does 16.1k, with the charge swing dealing over 40,000 for 18 stamina. If you multiply that by 2, that is 36,000. Or not 36,000, 36. I don't know where the 1,000 came from. I'm thinking of the, whatchamacallit, the charge swing damage. The next melee weapon on the list is the baseball bat, or a spike bat, rather. Or Lucille, if you want to be technical, since I know some people like to call it Lucille from The Walking Dead. The bat is a blunt-based weapon that at base does 200 damage and has a knockback, which can be upgraded depending on if you like that, with the use of the blunt knockback mods that you can find at the bandit, or not bandit, the bandit helicopter. With 200 being the base, the swordsman grants it an additional 270, and of course, If I apply uh, damage mod to it, it maxes it out at 5.2, the max swing doing 7,000. To obtain this, through going through the main quest, you go to the unabridged safe house. In the very back over here, you'll have your second extreme loss of extra rock. Like how I mentioned with the machete, you can obtain, or you used to be able to obtain the machete on Saturday and Sundays. However, um, you can obtain the bat on these 2 days. On to the next one, and my second favorite, the crowbar, although it's kind of invisible right now. The crowbar can be obtained 3 ways. The way that it originally was obtainable was through opening the Easter 2020 crates with a 5.4 percentage. This was further changed with the 2021, granting it an 11.8 multiplier, or a drop rate percentage from the Easter 2021 crate. Both of these are unobtainable until further notice. However, uh, the very first sector that you'll get your hands on is Sector F, where it was further released in the unclassified crate. The drop rate percentage is 26.32, and you get it from the unclassified crate. I apologize about that sudden jump, but the crowbar has the same statistics as the baseball bat with overall damage and just its versatility. However, the blunt melee knockback is not the same. I will not be showing full-on video, or I mean, I did make a full-on video about the crowbar and its crazy knockback, but it is not the same with the spike back. However, the main focus of this one is my personal most hated blunt weapon in this entire game, the sledgehammer. The overzealous and over exasperated, exasperated. There we go. The sledgehammer. At base, the sledgehammer used to be the strongest melee weapon that you can get. A lot of people were defending it. However, I was one of the haters, and for good reason. The sledgehammer takes 35%, or not 35%, 35 stamina per swing. Does a total of 1,000 damage at base without mods, but if I go ahead and add the mods, you can quickly see why it was considered one of the best weapons. Doing a total of 28,000, the sledgehammer had a very, very annoying gimmick. That if you swing it 3 times in a row, you would do that, or 4 times, I guess. You would do a unnecessary spin that would lock you in place. Although now it doesn't really lock you in place anymore, it removes your speed. Personally, I am not a fan of the weapon, and I never was. I always saw it as just a waste. Now, you can argue that the weapon is still good, yada yada. There's weapons way better than it. And I'm not afraid to make that claim clear. You can obtain this disgusting weapon by doing tombs. You unlock tombs at level 100, or it used to be level 100, but now level 120, with a nearly 50% uh, drop rate at a 49.46%. To access tombs, there will be a dude here that you can talk to, and you can go through the quest like that. I'll repeat again: the sledgehammer sucks. Fight me. The next weapon on the list is the shovel. Just to kind of make this quicker, you can obtain the shovel by killing Vein of Necron. Vein of Necron is at least advised, or at least I would advise you to attack or to fight it with other people if you are underleveled, like how this dude, I don't know what level he is, but he got mauled. Uh, Probably this, or woman, sorry, this level 420 got cooked. You can get the shovel on Mondays and Thursdays. The shovel at base does a total of 400 damage, with the swordsman perk granting it. I think it was like 5 something. I'm probably wrong. Oh no, 540. Okay. The shovel is 50-50. It really depends if it's your shtick. It does a total of 13 stamina per swing, with the max mod being 14k with 10,000 per swing. Not really too bad. The weapon is alright, but naturally could be better. On to the next weapon, or the next set of weapons, the throwables. To start us off, the pickaxe. Although a really weird spawn point, the pickaxe does a base total of 300 damage uh, the, with the swordsman giving it a 405 overall. Okay, that zombie looked weird. 405 overall damage output. The pickaxe has a unnecessary amount of stamina cost of 25. This special weapon, or the specialty of this weapon, allows you to throw the pickaxe. Well, that's kind of lagging. The farther you turn it back, the more it goes, I guess. Charge time. Percent damage will do, or the percentage of damage that it'll do will scale to 4% of the max HP of a zombie. Like a 1,000 will do 4% of that. To get it, you must defeat Zomborg, which, as you saw, go down from the safe house up there, or from the train station, and you can reach this. Funny fact about this: the survival knife used to be obtainable here before it was further moved to, um, to prisoner. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to pause the recording. The overall damage output of pickaxe goes up to 7.8 base, with each poke doing 10.5 thousand. 25 stamina for that much is not really worth it. Uh, the throw damage is also scaled up. I'm not too sure by how much, but it is okay. So throwing does percent max health damage on impact. Normal damage is half of melee's damage. So 3.9 per throw, which isn't too bad, but there's definitely better. Mm. Okay, well, I don't know why the recording started, but oh well. The next melee weapon that you find is the broom spear. In my personal opinion, the broom spear is one of the best weapons that you can get your hands on. At a base of 240, with each swing taking 6 stamina, and then of course, swordsman giving a 35% increase. The spear does a total of 200, or no, sorry, 324. The base doing 240. Now, although doing less than the pickaxe, in the long run, the broom spear does a total of 6.2 swordsman, and then each throw does or 8.4k with the throws being 3.1. Due to that less stamina usage that you're using, the spear was always preferred over the pickaxe. Plus, in 2 hits, you do easily double what the 10.4 of the pickaxe is, 10.5, whatever it was. And you are saving your stamina, and you can kill more more zombies that way. Now, the range is 16 units as compared to the 8, but then again, it's natural since this is a broom spear. Also, kind of easier to manage where you throw some, somewhat at least. You can obtain the now, you can obtain the broom spear right here in the community safe house. In the first part of the video, when I was mentioning the blunt melee knockback and damage mod, of course, you have the broom spear, which you can obtain on the weekends. You need to be level 200 to access it. Now, on to the final melee weapon, the broom spear. Not broom spear, sorry, the boomerang. I'm tripping. Final obtainable melee weapon is the boomerang. The boomerang can be obtained through each survival by completing the corrupted crates. Right here, you can obtain it at level 12, or sorry, wave 12. And then, of course, if you look at this, you can also obtain this at a 3.5% drop rate. This is for all of the corrupted sectors. And personally, the boomerang for me is kind of a mixed opinion. Uh, Although it is good, the base damage is 500 with each hit doing 625, and of course the good thing about this is that the boomerang will actually hit 2 targets, as it says. It's a boomerang. It'll attack either the same zombie once or 2 zombies like that. Although it's kind of hard to show. The crazy amount of damage this thing can do while maxed is quite incredible. Easily already reaching 13,000. The damage is increased to 17.5 for 8 stamina. Each throw scales to the percentage, and then of course it is actually less to the throw this, which is 20 instead of the 25 for both of these. And of course it does 4% to, that was a good showing. It does 4% to every weapon, which is natural. Now with that out of the way, it is time for final 4 melee weapons. Starting us off with I think the first, the scythe. Or Scythe, however you want to pronounce it. I've always pronounced it Scythe. I don't know, actually. Oh well. So, the way to obtain the Scythe is naturally through Halloween. You need to scroll down to the very bottom, the event missions right here. Uh, Jack Reaper, or Jack Reap. By completing these 2 quests, you can go through the mission to obtain the Scythe. However, and alternatively, if you want to also get the skin pack, which is obtainable year wide from the office, there is a door that'll lead you to the residentials. However, you do not want to keep going straight. Take a sharp right, go through this door. To get here from residentials, just run across to the insurance building, and then just make your way over here. Going to the very bottom, take the door to the right here, I believe, or maybe right here. You'll encounter the scythe. Alternatively, you can also complete the basement, and by completing the basement, you'll be able to get the Halloween skin pack right here. I believe it's either the Halloween or no, I think it's just Halloween. Because Halloween Pixar was something else. And with that out the way, on to the next one. Actually, I'm tripping. Hold on. The scythe used to be the best melee weapon. It actually used to do more damage than the machete, and it was actually nerfed from I think like a base of 400 to down to 240, 280, whatever it is. 280. The scythe does 280 base with um, the normal swing now being 378. The charge swing does a total of 756 for 14 stamina. If you multiply that by 2, that's 24 stamina. No, sorry, 28 stamina per slash. Scythe, fully maxed out, does a total of 9.8, with the charge swing doing 19.8, with a 200% multiplier increase. Again, this used to be the best melee weapon, easily reaching over 10,000 in terms of damage when it had its old rating, but it's a shadow of its former self. But it's still a good weapon to have if you don't have anything at all. And a Jack Reap mission during Halloween does not require any levels. The next event weapon on this list, they're really the only other event weapon besides the snowball, but that's not really a melee weapon, it's a throwable, is the Nautic. The Nautic came out during the 2021, I think. think it was in 2021 or was it 2019? No, it's 2021. I forget when it originally came out. I think it was around like 2021 to 2022 Christmas. Um, well, in any case, the 2022. Actually, hold on. Let me double check. Item Codex. 2020. Okay, so it did come out in the 2020 present. Am I tripping? Yeah. Okay. So for the Christmas present, 2020, it had a 3.1% drop rate, with the 2022 granting it a 16% straight drop rate. The Noticane, arguably, is one of the best early game weapons that you can actually get your hands on. With base melee damage of 520, mind you, for literally nothing. Just killing zombies or at least being around where or when Winter Treelum, which is still going on right now, is killed. The weapon does 702 with the swordsman perk, and then of course, if I throw the mods into this, it does 13 520 base, and then of course 18.2 for 13, no 16 stamina. Between the Naughty Cane and the Sledgehammer, in the other video, I stated specifically that the Naughty Cane easily eclipses the Sledgehammer because you can do double the damage within that time. Now, sure, with the Sledgehammer, it does more damage over time. However, you are spending a little less stamina, or maybe like a point extra, than a full 35 doing less amount of damage. In my personal opinion, the Noticane is like top 5 best melee weapons in the game. Now, with that out of the way, on to the next and most odd melee weapon in the game. The Keytar is a very interesting weapon. Naturally, it is a edge melee damage, but it's also an instrument. The only way to actually obtain it is through buying it with gold. I think it's in okay for like 5,000. This is the only way to obtain this, and at least as of now, there's no other active way to obtain the key. The base damage of the keytar does 340, with the swordsman granting it 459. This does not have a charge swing, and its max damage is 11.9, roughly breaking 12,000. For 15 stamina per swing, it's very interesting as a concept. You can play music and run around with an equip, and it will still play that music without you even having to uh, go through it. It has Faded, Coffin Dance, and then 0% Angel, which is a Hello Kitty or Mr. Kitty, whatever the thing is. Pretty good tunes, but I can't really play them due to copyright, I think. And then the final melee weapon within the game currently that is unobtainable and is only given to a select few. The Inquisitor's Blade. The one weapon the entire community wants. Naturally, the weapon is only obtainable to game testers. There are no applications open, and there will not be for the long run. The game testers, although few and little in between, are something Kronos decided to add. I was never 100% sure why he did. Um, Back then, I used to be on a lot. I had a lot more free time to just kind of run around, talk with people, fix bugs that were happening. Like one major bug at the time was with the fallover mechanic, and you and going through a door, which basically gave you infinite no clip. That's been patched, doesn't work anymore. If it does, don't abuse it. Well, no, it doesn't work since it was patched a long time ago, and he made sure to fix that issue. But the Inquisitor's blade sword. Uh the sword itself does a total of at least for base 864. The charge swing does a total of 1.7k with the 10 stamina cost, double that for the um, charge swing. The max it does is 22.4 thousand. With the 200% multiplier, the sword breaks over 45,000, doing close to the fire axe. Although the fire axe is basically the best in terms of overall damage if you want that charge swing. Plus, it also has the ignition, whereas this blade has a higher percent chance for uh, uh, bleed percentage, whereas the axe only has a 10% with a 20% chance. Again, the blade is unobtainable and was only obtained through game testers. I will not show how to obtain it since there would be no real need for it. And if you see one, uh, the only way a tester would have it is if they were a tester before they got removed, um, or if they are currently an ongoing tester. Uh, Although it is kind of rare, you could probably see me every now and then. I do kind of join for a little bit. If you do see me and you want to say hi, don't feel afraid to talk to me. I'm fine to talk with people. Uh, Keeps me sane. But that technically is the last melee weapon that is currently obtainable. However, there's one more that, although I am not going to buy, I will talk a little bit about. And that, my friends, is located in the new items, the Mega Switchblade. The Mega Switchblade has the ability to turn into a edge melee or a blunt melee damage dealer. I'm not 100% sure on the damage output. I could join the dev branch to spawn it in to try it out. But as of right now, this video has already gotten a bit too long. And there's two more things that I need to address before I do end this video off. But the Mega Switchblade, at least from what I know, is more like an active switching type of weapon. Um, I've also been told that you are able to put both melee and blunt on it. However, it will take the 5 slots up. Now, I could be wrong, since again, I was just told this by someone who does have it. But Um, I've heard some decent stuff about it. I'm not 100% sure again, since that's just the word that of what I've been told. But yeah, you can only currently obtain the Mega Switchblade by buying it for 5,000 gold. Bit costly, I ain't gonna lie to you. A bit costly, but hey, if it works, it works. Although I don't know how it benefits Chronos since he can spawn in gold if he pleases. I'm a game tester, even I don't know. And with that out the way, with all the melee weapons touched upon, let me go ahead and let me address one final thing: melee stamina. So, um, finishing this video off, I would like to point out that there is a way to increase your overall stamina. The max amount of stamina you can have is 500% through use of the arm wraps, the leather gloves, and then the Vectron gloves. The arm wraps you can obtain from somewhere. The leather gloves and also the mods for glove, glove grip resistance, swift hands, and melee fury. And the leather gloves can be obtained from railroads, which from the train house go down railways, and then you have the leather gloves, and of course the glove grip and swift hands both drop at a 16.7% drop rate, with melee fury dropping at a 8.34. They are the only mods currently available that you can obtain. The base amount of melee stamina that you have is just 100. But of course, you can upgrade and you can go with that. At base, the leather gloves, oh, sorry about that, leather gloves grant a 30 additional stamina boost. The arm wraps grant a additional 20. And then, of course, all together with all three grant a total of 500 melee stamina. A crazy amount, but between me and you, all you really need is just the Vector gloves. And with that out the way, I do hope this video was helpful. I do hope that this video um, and the timestamps of the video do help. I'm just gonna crop this out, or not crop it. I'm just gonna yoink that for the thumbnail. I do, and without really much else to kind of go over, this is it. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you stay safe out there. Without further ado, this is Damien, and I'll catch you all in the next one. 50 minutes. Wanted to make this a bit smaller, but you know what? Fine by me. So yeah, without further ado, have a good day. Stay safe out there. Damien, what the fuck? That dude just spawned out of nowhere.